galaxies, extraterrestrials, the occult. Gather around the lunch table, children. Don't try to get up. He won't let you leave. It's Weird Wednesday with Mr. Streble.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back into another edition of ESPN Louisville Plus After Dark. I'm Justin Soforo. Joining me today, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, James Streble. And I got to hype up Anna as well. The amazing lady who joins us and talks nonsense and lets me get away with a lot more than I probably should here on ESPN Louisville Plus. James Streble and Tarullo. How you guys doing? Welcome in. And before we even say anything, guys, do me a favor. If you're in here, like, subscribe, go to the YouTube channel, all that good stuff. Anyway, James Streble, it is your show.
Well, first of all, go USA as the United States advances from the knockout round to the round of 16, defeating Bosnia and Herzegovina. Fun match, had to battle some adversity there with the red card, but it's cool. Going to play Belgium now on Monday, so we advance, everybody. So go USA. Let's do it.
USA, USA, USA,
USA,
okay.
USA. All right,
there we go. Now we're real patient.
It was obligatory.
Gotta get that out of the way.
We're getting ready to crush.
I do have my
ready to
USA
crush
sweatshirt.
It's funny because we're getting ready to crush
nice.
the CIA and the American government, so that's very appropriate as we
CIA
crush the CIA,
USA
the Criminal Intelligence Agency.
Exactly. Real quick though, like I said, we gotta feed the algorithm beast that is, because this is an esports channel and a sports network, and people don't like if you change topics from being sports centric in U of L and UK and all that. But it is an important one. Lately, Big Dog's been chirping and barking and talking all that smack, and Pete Nocta's been kind of doing his thing there behind the scenes, as well as the rest of
Will Stein get it done.
Well, here's the thing, too. On ESPN Louisville Plus here, at least when Anna decides to show up on Sundays. Just kidding. Just kidding. I've been half the reason. But on those Sundays, one thing I've told her playtimes is like, I don't want to do it. Don't make me talk. Don't make me talk Kentucky football recruiting. Because I can give him props, but I don't know shit. I don't know anything about like how good this is going to be in the end. For everything we know about Will Stein as a head coach, we don't know. We know him as an assistant coach, and we think that he's going to be good. And we have a feeling it seems that he's really clicking and meshing with these recruits, and they're recruiting pretty well, very well. But we don't know how any of this is going to turn out in the end. But the one story we do have here that's going to make me have to talk about it, at least for a minute, because you can't just come into my stomping grounds. My school, you know what I'm talking about? The school that that now that I am a dedicated parent of a football playing athlete for this school, the Christian Academy of Louisville. You cannot just come into my program and try to snatch my guy. Not under Hunter Cantwell's watch. But yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
No, so you can set it up if you want to. I was just going to set up what's going on here.
Yeah. So right now, go ahead. You are the sports talk man. So I'll let you set it up.
All right, I'll set it up then. So Hyde Brown, who is a Kentucky or Louisville football player at Christian Academy, as Justin just referenced, high 4-star. He's been going to all these camps. He was a standout at the most recent Elite 11 camp as far as overall performance. I mean, the kid's really, really good. He had originally committed to Indiana. He then flipped to U of L. Well, one of the quarterbacks that he was connecting with down at the latest Elite 11 camp was Kentucky 4-star standout who's ranked as the number 1, number 2 quarterback in the class of 2027. They were working together. He was throwing to Hyde Brown. They were sharing stuff about each other on social media. And there seems to be some momentum, at least rumored momentum, behind the scenes as to whether or not Hyde Brown could be a possible flip, because Kentucky was in hot pursuit of him when he decommitted from Indiana. Some people at Kentucky thought that he might commit. He did. Now, obviously, he went to U of L, but it's a long way till signing day. So expect some more jockeying for position for both these coaches. So, but I think people are leaning on that connection between Narot who, again, one of the top quarterbacks in the class, going to Will Stein, who's known as a quarterback whisperer, throwing those dimes to Hyde Brown can't be good for whoever Briggs Cherry or whoever Jeff Brom has as his quarterback next season.
Well, and it's funny too because a little bit behind the curtain. Phil Baker and I recorded the first hour of the Sunday Morning Hangover today. Just a little bit early. So guys, if breaking news happens at 10 a.m. on Sunday, and you're like, why are they not talking about it? That's why. That's why.
Yeah.
But we were talking about this whole situation surrounding it, and like he's talked about, basically Phil went to or knew him from Seneca, the dad. And it's crazy that there's people, that are our age, or when I say it, Phil and my age, no offense, Streble, that are now having kids that are high school age, that are like going into college and being that level of player and stuff like that. But just talking about the entire situation around it, we talked about Andy's kind of. Have you heard Andy's kind of the way he's posturing with the Allen Evans decommitment to Vanderbilt, and then also maybe it's associated with this too, that really it's Chris Vaughn trying to get that dollar up, because there is a history of that with Louisville football where players will flip away and then I'll forget about them, and then they come back, the day of signing
eventually.
Day. Oh, they flip back.
Yeah.
Or they come back, a year later or so when the money's up. Get
your money up.
Like if Allen Evans goes and kills it at Vanderbilt as a freshman and maybe play some games or whatever, I fully expect him to maybe go back to U of L. I don't think that's the end of him at U of L. But for now, I mean, big dogs out there tweeting out alarms. I'm playing chess, not checkers. I'm like,
I had to reread that 3 times to make sure he got it right. I could totally see him saying, I'm
big
playing
dog,
checkers, not chess.
There is 0% chance that Big Dog has ever played chess. I don't believe for a second.
Difference. I love you, Vincent. I love
There's
you,
no way.
Let's ask him the difference next time somebody interviews him.
Ince chimes in. Is Streble currently hanging out in the Kevin Hale dungeon? No, I'm outside, Ince. I'm outside. He must be feeling good watching the show after the soccer match tonight. Look at Ince tuning in. This is great. There we go. Hello, Ince.
I'm looking at it right now. His guy Christian Pulisic is on TV, shining, looking good. Not doing too great in Syria. But
he had a couple moments that had me questioning him. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he turned it on at the end, but I mean, he had a couple baby kicks out there, the bad passing.
Not a baby kick.
He had a little baby kick around the goal. I was like, "What are you doing? I mean, you're a professional. Use your whole leg. What are you doing here?" We playing patty cake out there. Pulisic. What is this? A man sport. This is soccer.
I do enjoy and I love watching now. And then we'll get into the main story of the show, the reason we're doing it. But I do love watching like Weston McKennie now, players like that get their flowers, because I've been stuck watching, because I was doing the Bianconeri Zone channel, being the ugly lone American with a Canadian and an Italian fan, and they just continuously just defecate on Weston McKennie the entire time. They're like he's a fat ass. They're like he's a fat ass is their thing, and I'm like, man, that would be peak performance for me if I could get to his size. That would be the healthiest I've ever been.
Okay, we respect all body types.
Yeah, no. When it comes to European football, no. Like they have they have a look, and you have to fit it. Otherwise, you were just a big fat pig, and that's how they treat all of you.
An American.
Everyone has to look like Harry Kane.
Yeah, I guess just my question to you all, the BBN card-carrying terrorists that I know and love, any guess, opinion of what will happen with Hyde Brown? Do you think there's a move that happens here in the short term, or do you think it's a little bit of nothing right now? Anna, you first.
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry. I got like 7 texts coming into me right now. I apologize.
Oh my God, he's popular.
Text from is it Pete Nocta? Is it Nocta? Is it Will Stein? Is it
No.
Wait. I'm going through the whole list. Oh shit. I don't know. Who else is U of L guys that are on that team?
Inside sources.
Who are the other U of L? Oh, Justin Burke. Is it Justin Burke?
Justin Burke. Justin Burke. Yeah.
How many other U of L guys went through there? Yeah.
You'll have Vince Merrill on the damn team. Like, well, stop with this posturing.
Yeah.
I mean, Vince Merrill's a Kentucky guy.
Hey, Vince Merrill.
The only reason you have a football program is because of a Kentucky guy. Howard Schnellenberger is in the Kentucky Ring of Honor, and he started your program essentially and made it relevant. So enough with this.
And now a Louisville guy is bringing yours back from the depths. You have a Louisville player coming back.
He was a Kentucky guy first.
No, he wasn't. He never played for Kentucky.
No, but he was
his
a
dad
Kentucky
did.
fan.
He was a fan. He was.
And he had season tickets, and he said he didn't grow up. Dude, he's
I don't get credit for anything my papa did. I don't get credit just because he. Well, I was about to use it. Sorry, it was about to get ugly. I know. If it was just being Streble, I would have said it. Just anyway. Anyway.
Do we want to dive into the content now?
Yeah, let's get into the content. We don't have enough time. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, UK U of L fans, you all let me know your hot takes when it comes to Hyde Brown. Hyde Brown, going to U of L, sticking with the commitment, whatever. You let me know. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe, YouTube, all that good stuff. Streble, take it over.
All right. So yesterday on Capitol Hill, there was a hearing on, and like all the UF disclosure stuff is very widely publicized. Like, we're going to have a meeting. The Congress is holding a meeting about UFO disclosure, and it's going to be this, that, and the other. The media should be there. Well, they held a hearing over MK Ultra yesterday and government mind control, and nobody was talking about it. Nobody was talking about it, and there were some bombs, absolute bombs dropped in this hearing, which the CIA did finally have to come to terms with what they did in the 70s. For those of you that don't know, MK Ultra it used to be a, quote, rumored CIA project in which they were utilizing drugs and like LSD and torture methods to try to perfect mind control. And they were doing this it wasn't like they were doing this with volunteers or somebody's like, yeah, let's see if this works. They were doing it on unwitting, innocent American citizens that had no idea, that never gave their consent to be in these tests or anything of that nature. So they denied it for years. Finally, they had to admit it. I think they had to pay some families in terms of wrongful death suits and all these things. A lot of that was admitted. So, why is it coming up now? Well, there's a lot of things that tie into it, like JFK, the Manson family ties into this. Nazism ties into this. There's a lot of tunnels to go down. So before we really dive to the subject, I wanted to play one clip to kind of start, and then I'll go into the Charles Manson aspect of this, because I think it's the most interesting aspect of it, and then we'll kind of go further down how it was brought over to the United States, and I mean, it seems like an act of war that our own government decided to use these tactics against us. But go ahead. This is Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who is also famous for, she kind of heads the charge on the UFO disclosure hearings as well. Here she is.
Is that all she's famous for?
MK Ultra.
She's not famous for anything else.
Is it in your expert opinion
I just paid
that Jack Ruby and
Go ahead, say what you need to say, then I'll start it again.
I'll just
say what you need to say.
I just know for her political ideas and disclosure talk. That's it. That's all I pay attention to.
That's why he follows her.
All right, go ahead.
About the calendar.
That's
is
right.
it in your expert opinion that Jack Ruby and Manson were assets of the intelligence agencies, specifically pertaining to MK Ultra? Were they MK Ultra victims?
Yeah, theoretically, Manson, I've never been able to prove absolutely. Jack Ruby, I believe, this is something else. The Warren Commission investigation, on the Warren Commission was Alan Dulles, the former CIA director, who authorized and ran MK Ultra until he was fired by President Kennedy. The liaison to the committee for the CIA, who handled the information coming from the CIA back and forth to the Warren Commission, was Richard Helms, who was a direct supervisor of Jolly West. They knew who West was. They knew that what West was capable of and what they had paid him to do and what he had reported to them that he could do, including inducing mental disorders in people. That was never disclosed to the commission as far as anyone knows. So I believe that West was put in there to keep Jack Ruby from telling his story.
Wow. In closing, I just want to thank you all for being here today, and we will be following up, Dr. Kinzer, on your request to fully redact. I'll be following.
You can stop it there, Soforo,
the CIA,
if you don't mind. All right, so there's a lot kind of in that clip. I mean, we hear MK Ultra, we hear Alan Dulles, who was the head of CIA, being fired by John F. Kennedy. We also hear the names Jack Ruby, Manson family. I'll explain all of that. Okay?
Jolly West.
Yeah, Jolly West is definitely the name that will be coming up, regularly here as we go. So, okay. I already kind of explained MK Ultra and what the goals of MK Ultra were. Okay, that was to be able to perfect mind control, to get whoever you're trying to control to do whatever you want, whether it be carry out assassinations or whatever dirty work the CIA needs you to take care of. So they utilize a variety of methods. Hallucinogenic drugs was one of their methods of choice. As we know, in the 1960s, and this is kind of when the MK Ultra really pops off, and it's heightened, and they speed it up. Like you really see it in action in the 60s. Okay, so y'all want to talk about Manson first, or you want to talk about JFK?
Oh my God, Sophie's choice. This is Sophie's choice. JFK.
All right, well, JFK. All right, so
I want Manson.
That's good because it happens. Well, JFK happens first, so we'll go. We'll go chronologically. Okay, so the guy that's speaking at that hearing is Tom O'Neill. He wrote a book called Chaos, which is a phenomenal book about the Manson family murder. So who he is he's an investigative journalist, and he was supposed to write a one-off story, and I think it was like Variety or Rolling Stone, or it was a big publication about the anniversary of the Manson family murders. So he went, and I know it sounds like I'm going to be doing the Manson thing, but I promise I'll go to JFK, but I got to talk about Tom O'Neill first. So he goes and he interviews Vincent Bugliosi, who is the head prosecutor in the Manson case. He's the guy that wrote Helter Skelter, which is kind of like the Bible in terms of, if you're interested in the Manson family, the investigation, all the documentation, the trial itself, that was the book. So Tom O'Neill goes and he interviews him, and he catches Bugliosi in a series of lies because he had read Helter Skelter, and he had done a little of his own research, and there were things that didn't jibe, okay? And so after he talks to Bugliosi, he decides there's more to this. And what was supposed to be a single article that I think he had like 6 months to work on ended up being a years upon years long passion project of Tom O'Neill to get to the bottom of the Manson family. And he ties in his book Jolly West, who we're going to talk about here in a second. Now, Jolly West is important in this because during the Kennedy assassination, or after the Kennedy assassination. So the whole story is that John F. Kennedy is assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald, right? This is what we're supposed to believe. A lone gunman who was a communist sympathizer that had spent time in Russia and spent time in Cuba, and he was a part of the political communist movement in America, and he was a bad seed, and, communism sucks, down with communism. So that's the story we were sold. Then Lee Harvey Oswald, in his famous words, says, "I'm just a patsy," right? And that's like his comment. We've heard it a million times. Just days after he shoots Kennedy, he's also assassinated by a guy by the name of Jack Ruby, who has ties to the CIA. He's a very nefarious character. He's very mysterious, but it's very strange. This guy walks up to the most wanted man in America and just guns him down without anybody, intervening or tackling him or trying to protect Oswald on live TV, shoots him on TV. Jack Ruby then gets a visit from Jolly West. Jolly West was a psychiatrist that worked for the CIA as a consultant, and he also worked for the Air Force, United States Air Force. He's a psychiatrist. He was deep into MK Ultra. He goes and visits Jack Ruby while he's in jail, one-on-one, with nobody else present but just the doctor and Jack Ruby. After he meets with Jack Ruby, he comes out and says, well, this guy's clinically insane. That's why he shot Lee Harvey Oswald. They go back, interview Jack Ruby, and he is freaking nuts. He's not making any sense. He seems like a completely different person. And Jolly West is an expert, as we're going to see, in mind control and mind control methods. Now, back to the Warren Commission, which was mentioned by Tom O'Neill. The Warren Commission was the commission that was put together in order to investigate the Kennedy assassination and then give us the story. The story that they gave us was the lone gunman theory. One of the chairs of the Warren Commission was Alan Dulles. Alan Dulles was the head of the CIA. He was the one that okayed MK Ultra, and he was fired by John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy hated the CIA. He hated the FBI. He hated these agencies that were not under control of American voters or American politicians that were voted into office. They act on the behalf of the American government, but they're autonomous of the American government. They don't have to share things with them if they don't want to, and they can operate however they want to. And John F. Kennedy wanted to shrink the size of the CIA, shrink the size of the FBI, and one of his first modes of action as president was to get rid of Dulles because he was tired of the continued growth of power of the CIA and the growth of power of Alan Dulles. So Alan Dulles was a part of the Warren Commission that said, oh, yeah, it was just Lee Harvey Oswald. He was by himself and he's a communist. So, yeah, he got what he deserved. So that's the Kennedy side of MK Ultra, that Jack Ruby was perhaps MK Ultra. And then he died of like super cancer. Like not long after that, he was diagnosed with this aggressive form of cancer. And he died within like months of being arrested. And basically he was put in an insane asylum and he died of cancer from there. Like, he has cancer. Yeah. And he's going to die real soon. So yeah, that's the Kennedy side of it. Thoughts from you two?
Why are they always lone gunmen? And why I just love how back then they were like, oh, they reported the communist movement. Where today they're like, oh, these weird lone shooters who were radicalized online in these chat rooms. It's the same story. It's the same stuff.
All these incels. They're incels.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. And I'm sorry, like they just operating alone. I don't know if I buy all that, but also, Dulles is the worst airport in the United States of America. So what a legacy fitting for that man.
He's an evil, evil man. Evil man. Justin.
So one of my biggest questions, this is probably not something that you can answer, but like what I'm wondering is when they say that about mind control, right? Like what is that? Like what when you say it's mind control, is it brainwashing? Is it a different level? Is it you literally do not have physical control of your body, or is it you were being coerced into doing something? And does that make sense? Because there's multiple different versions of mind control to me that I'm trying to understand what CIA mind control is. Is it brainwashing? Okay. Is it coercion? Or is it you full on cannot control what you were doing and you're doing it?
It's definitely not full on. You're not in control of your own body. I think it's a combination of coercion and brainwashing. Are you familiar with the movie The Manchurian Candidate?
Yes.
Okay, so the Manchurian that's mind control, right? Like they have the Manchurian Candidate's about an assassination, and it's a mind control individual that commits the assassination, and they have a trigger, right? Like a word or a sound or a visual that if they see that, then the coercion kicks in and they do what they are brainwashed to do in the
like
first
Bucky,
place.
The Winter Soldier. You don't like Marvel stuff, but Bucky and the Winter Soldier, who when you read off these Russian words in a sequence, he reverts back to being the Winter Soldier and tries to kill Captain America and all the other Americans.
100%. That's how it works. They use different methods to reach that goal. So that's what CIA MK Ultra mind control is. All right, so let's jump to the Manson family. I'm glad we actually left this 1 second because it's a much longer story. So we're all familiar with Charles Manson, right? I mean, he's one of the most notorious, reviled criminals in American history. Well, he's known for the two mass murders during the Summer of Love, 1969, so his story, the Vincent Bugliosi story of Charles Manson is he's just a small time petty career criminal that somehow, some way got all these hippie kids in California to follow what he's doing. And while he was doing that, this petty criminal that doesn't have a very high IQ, isn't very smart, continues to get busted his entire life. He also infiltrates the music business and the Beach Boys and the upper echelons. Yes, the upper echelons of Hollywood. So this small time, robber and all these things, he's able to do all of this, right? He just must be, just so charismatic. So it comes to find out, and a lot of this is again via Tom O'Neill's book, Chaos. I
is that why Brian Wilson's
everybody
an
to
asshole?
go read that. Brian, well, no, it was his brother. It was the drummer that was the one that was friends with Manson.
But did he make Brian Wilson become an asshole?
He did.
No, I think he was
just
always
the
like that. He's an artist. He's an artist, Justin. Artists are just different. You know what I mean? He's just an artist.
Why never an asshole?
Yeah,
Charles Manson made me do that.
You got to be really tortured to write "Surfing in the USA." I mean, the torture must, the trauma that you must have suffered.
Fun till Daddy takes the T-bird. Anyway,
T-bird away. Yeah. You'd be really tortured soul. Okay, so Charles Manson, Tom O'Neill finds out through his investigations, and this was all being done after the fact, but he finds out that Charles Manson, after he gets arrested, they just let him go. Like they just keep letting him go, and they're like, he's like, why? Like this guy has so many charges, he should be in prison for at least a decade, but they just keep letting him go. So he's kind of thinking, there's something going. Someone's telling these local police departments to let him out, to like leave him alone. And then he also thinks, okay, he's got all this LSD, he's got all this acid. Where the hell's he getting it from? He's like this broke hippie dude. Yeah. And he's got enough to feed his entire community. He takes it to parties. That's one of the way he gets in with celebrities. He has access to so much drugs. And so and so he gets in with the Beach Boys, and particularly the drummer gets in with the Beach Boys, and he goes and he thinks he's going to get a record contract, and he's like playing his music for them, and they're like, yeah, this is good. They play for some music executives. They're like, this is terrible.
Like this guy. I thought he was kind of good. Is that not true? I could be making.
Well, it's kind of like Hitler's paintings. Right, where like he can like paint landscapes and stuff, and he's good, but he can't convey human emotion by drawing.
Bush's painting.
Yes, exactly. He can't draw like human faces and stuff because he's a sociopath, so he doesn't get emotion. And Charles Manson was the same way. His music was like kind of catchy, but it had no depth to it. They're like, it's just like, it's a bunch of hippie, mumbo jumbo. Yeah, it's just hippie mumbo jumbo stuff, right?
You said you understood his paintings, right?
No, I did not.
You didn't? I thought you said that was something that you were kind of like you got into in like college.
No, never. That isn't.
Oh,
I
just thought that was something that you were into. I don't know. That's what I had heard. I remember talking about this on the tape. I had heard back in the day. I don't know.
I was never interested in it.
I heard you had one in your house.
Right, I took an art history class.
You said that's why you became a Kentucky fan, because they both had great names.
Speaking of brainwashing, he's trying to brainwash all of you into thinking this is reality.
Right now.
This is MK Soforo. I mean, this is Soforo Ultra. This is a great Power Ranger villain. Soforo Ultra's coming at your ass. All right, anyway. So back to Manson.
You don't know what I'm into. You don't. Anyway.
You can be whatever you want to. Yeah, whatever you want to, big boy. You're an autonomous figure with a mind of your own. So anybody. So here we go. So back to Manson. So he falls out with the Beach Boys. The Manson family commits the murders, and the deeper that Tom O'Neill dove into it, the entire purpose for those murders was to scare the American population
from hippies.
In terms of the hippies.
Anti-war movement, right?
Bingo, because what was the hottest topic, the most divisive, you're on it, Anna, the most divisive topic in America, it was the Vietnam War. And for the first time in American history, there was an anti-war movement. Every time prior to that, whenever this country was in a war, it was like, yes, we're at war, and we all need to get behind the troops and get behind the flag. And, well, this is actually a really good, shut up. America's going to win, and we're going to kick ass and take names and fly eagle, rock and roll. They did have rock and roll. And that's part of the PSYOP, too. Part of MK Ultra is the music scene. Jim Morrison, yeah, I'll get to him in just a second. You're bingo.
Sorry, I'm being so annoying.
No, you're not. No, you're not at all. No, of course, no, you're not. You're not being annoying. So, anywho, back to this. So, the reason they wanted to kill the hippie culture and the hippie movement is because it was anti-war. They wanted support for the Vietnam War. And so, like, what can we do? Okay, we'll turn these hippies into heinous, murdering, satanic individuals that will make everybody scared of hippies in the counterculture and say, whoa. Whatever they're saying, I'm out on now. Look what these hippies are capable of. They're capable. And besides, what else are they doing? I mean, drugs and free love and all this other stuff. So it goes back. So Tom O'Neill does investigations, and he says he sees that Jolly West, the same guy that was in the cell with Jack Ruby before he went insane, Jolly West was the personal physician to Charles Manson and the Manson family. He was their doctor. Yes. He also
going back how far?
I can't wait. Whenever he was in the San Francisco area, when he had the cult going in that area, okay, and so. Or Los Angeles, sorry, in the Los Angeles area. So while he's in Los Angeles with this cult and they're on the Spawn Ranch and doing that, he would come out and check because there was like all kinds of like STDs running around because of the free love and everything. And I'm sure he was also coaching. Yeah, coaching Manson on brainwashing techniques and probably supplying him with drugs. While that was going on too, down on Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco, there was a free clinic, because again, hippies and STDs and all that other addiction. The free clinic on Haight-Ashbury that also was run by, guess who? Jolly West. And at this hospital, free clinic, there was an operation going on called Operation Midnight Climax. And again, this was headed by Jolly West, and he's also involved. This operation, like around the hospital, there was a brothel. And
Soforo's face.
Yeah, no, he went, huh?
I have things I want to say, but I hold myself back because otherwise I'm just going to keep ruining the show. So I let it go. I just hold it in.
You should throw it in there. So anyway,
that's why it's called Midnight Climax.
He runs the free health clinic, and he's also involved with his brothel. What would happen? What Jolly West would do is the prostitutes would bring the Johns into the room to, the business transaction. There was a mirror in the room. It was one of those two-way mirrors where they can watch you from the other side, but you have no idea. It's like
OnlyFans in like online pornography now. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. So what the prostitutes would do is they dose the Johns with LSD, and then they would attempt to, brainwash and coerce them, and the doctors on the other side of the mirror would take notes and see what worked, see what didn't work. And again, this was done to individuals that did not consent to this being done. And this is all the stuff that Jolly West was doing and a part of. He's one of the most nefarious characters in all of American history. He was with Michael Aquino, who was we'll get into him in another episode. The Satanic Navy. God, what was his title? I think he was a sergeant, a captain. I don't know, but anyway, he was he was a part of he started what's called the Temple of Set, but he was involved with Jolly West because he did mind control experiments in Vietnam. There was Michael Aquino that did that. So the Manson family murders were, in Tom O'Neill's opinion, and there's a lot of evidence that backs him up, that it was part of an MK Ultra project. And also the entire music scene at the time to corral the hippies was also MK Ultra, because Jim Morrison's father was an admiral in the Navy that had that he was the one in charge of the Gulf of Tonkin. And of course, who's one of the biggest counterculture symbols, icons of all time? Jim Morrison and the Doors of Perception, which is named after exactly a very occultish, esoteric type book that was written by Aldous Huxley. So all that together, that was MK Ultra. That's the stuff we know about. What do we not know about? What were they doing? So our reactions to the Manson stuff, and then I'll do part 3 after that. All right, Anna, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to go first. Okay, what's crazy to me is like we say, all right, well, what do we not know of? And that is scary, but it's also like it starts to follow a similar playbook. Just like we said, I don't know, they're talking about how, look at these horrible crimes that the hippies did. I feel like they do that with like Muslim, like look at this horrible people, like anybody they want you to be against, right? Or like
sure,
weed
to be mad at,
making hippies too docile, making hippies too this or too that, and so like let's introduce LSD. And this is so crazy. I just thought of this. I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. They were talking about their experience in their fraternity in college, and I was like, holy shit, that was, and I've never heard or read this anywhere in my mind and just started putting this together. I was like, that fraternities sound like they were infiltrated. A, with all the hazing, it sounds like the dang Stanford prison experiment. But B, like all the drugs.
The elephant walk is not that bad. I enjoyed it.
I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
And how like calling each other family, and it's like this. They got really big. The same
They're
time
brothers.
the Vietnam War. Around their brothers. Come on, around that age. So that's just insane to me. I feel like that needs to be looked into, but it's also when you were talking about the brothels and how it's such a metaphor for, I feel like, how they blackmail journalists and other people now with things like OnlyFans or like porn or like whatever. It's like, you think nobody's watching what you're doing? That's how they are, like even the Epstein files and shit. Like people are going to do nasty shit, and that's how they get you to coerce their way because they have blackmail on you, right? But then when you're talking about like he was the family doctor, I just think about like when people are like, well, Kanye West, he went crazy and his psychologist, and they they put him in the hospital for exhaustion and all this. It's always like a doctor who's doing that, who's in charge of people. I'm like, that's just, I don't know, it's just weird to me. I feel like it's just the same themes that we're seeing now today. So is their playbook really that deep,
So
it's not that deep, but it is used different way. Now it's the internet and social media they're using to MK Ultra us. Go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Is the goal of MK Ultra always and only for continuation of the a military industrial complex? Is that all that it really stands for, or is it more than just that? Because it seems like that is the growing. At least during that time, that's the main goal, right? Like it's all about just keeping that money machine rolling. But like today, in Anna's bringing up of Kanye West, that was something I brought up. I remember when I was doing the show with you all about how when I was doing the take, but that was back when, remember he said he'd disappear and he'd come back and that's not him and stuff like that anymore. And it's like, is it, people talk about the idea of cloning, people talk about, there's a whole other rabbit hole. Yet all of these have rabbit holes that I want to go down, but we don't have enough time for. But like, I guess my question is, and maybe I'm getting too far ahead of myself for this show, because maybe that's the third part of this is what it is today compared to then.
I was gonna go with the origin, but those are good questions. All right, so the primary goal is what you said, Justin, is to feed the military industrial complex, and to coerce the population into siding with the government on that, because you don't want to Texter Jolly West sounds like Rasputin. We could do an episode on Rasputin too.
Rasputin.
Yeah. That's a fascinating story. But the other part of it is to control the narrative that we're taking in, and to also keep us always fighting. That way we are not paying attention to what's being done to us by our government. Instead, we pick out the others, right? Whether that be a political party or whether that be like, exactly, it's the Democrats, it's the Republicans, it's this.
I gotta say that. I need to say that.
Yeah.
It's the Democrats.
It's like so they I said Republicans too, but like it's a way to keep us not paying attention to what they're doing and not demanding more change, because there's more of us than there are of them. And we could fire all of them, but it's they feed these narratives in order to keep us docile, to keep us more controllable. And of course, if they're researching this stuff and putting this into practice, this is their goal. Their goal is to control the minds of the American population and to, regurgitate whatever crap they put out there for us to consume. That's another goal of it. What was your other question? I'm sorry.
You talking about me personally?
Yeah, you had another question in there, and I was thinking of this answer before I got to the other question. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just more, I guess, my kind of thinking with it. At the time, it's all about the military industrial complex and continuing that on. I guess my question is, because look at it this way too. Back in the day, it was very easy to just kind of say, this is anti-Christian, this is whatever, all the satanic things, and then people get behind it. Now it's almost like if you're looking at the world that we would look at today, it feels like the world is more anti-Christian. It is now the popular belief now is to say things that are anti-Christian. Well, at that time it was, look, all this stuff is satanic. Look how bad this is. What I kind of wonder is today, in the way that they share the messages, and maybe it's also going to be harder. I wonder if it's harder because people getting quote unquote red pilled or awoken or all that kind of they're woke now and all that kind of stuff. I think that term woke kind of changed what it initially meant. Like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it did always.
It did change definitions. Yes,
definitely did.
No, you're right. It originated as like being red pilled or whatever. Then it morphed into the. The definition of being overly by who you're talking to. I mean, it's just,
I guess to me, what my question is kind of.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I think maybe you have a little bit of delay. Maybe I think that might be what's going on. To me, I guess the question is, if you get on social media, if you get on all these different forms of ways that people are inundating you with this modern version of whatever you want to call it, mind control or whatever. You talk about the warring, you got to have people fighting with each other. It has never been more evident than today. When you get on there and you see your algorithm will just feed whatever it is that you want to agree with, it'll feed directly to you, and it'll feed it directly to the other side, and you'll continue to hate each other. You'll have people that's why I view myself more and more as I get older, more moderate than anything, because I look at people in the extremes of either side as you if you can't be flexible enough to see a little bit of both sides, you're the dumbest person I've ever met.
Yes, 100%.
So,
agree with
but it feels like that's what either, it's not the government or whoever it is, the government, but you know what I mean? Whoever is in control,
shadow government.
that is what they want to do to people. And is that the modern version?
Yeah, no,
I guess.
That was a good point.
But it feels weaker.
Yeah, absolutely. Does it?
It's stronger,
but look at the
actually
people that are
because
stuck
think
to their.
about, they used to use like traditional media to do it, like in all of these Hollywood connections, but now I feel like they were trying to use social media. And if you look about how Facebook came to be, we can get into that another episode. It's super interesting. It was like a project in one of the intelligence agencies, and then all of a sudden Mark Zuckerberg had the idea for it. So I feel like they used it, as Soforo was saying, as like a tool to guide us, but now it's just kind of giving people their own control of like the narrative, and it's opened people's eyes more, that I feel like it's backfiring on them a little bit. I don't know.
Well, I think that's I think the internet was probably contrived as a control device, but the problem is when they unleashed it on the population, they didn't put any barriers on the internet. Like the internet's the wild, wild west. They kind of left it that way, and I think that was probably a mistake. And at least on their part, because Anna's exactly right. Like what the internet's done. Exactly. So what the internet's done is it's taken power away from traditional media. It's taken power away from Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood's cranking. Yeah. Hollywood's cranking out these movies, man, and people just aren't seeing them. Like, I mean, these big budget movies that come out this summer, and people, they're not going. They're flopping. I mean, really, you think of the movies that are the most popular, made the most money, are like independent movies that aren't a part of like some gigantic studio. It's like that Obsession movie is like number one, and things of that nature. Oh, you didn't like it? I haven't seen it.
It scarred me. I'm trying to forget it. It was traumatizing.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it was a well-made film, but it wasn't a good time to see it. But I mean, like, other people might like it, but it was too much for me.
Now I really want to see it. Like what?
Yeah, you should.
Because you're a pretty independent. Yeah, you're a pretty like independent, tough lady. So like, if it scared you and freaked you out, I definitely want to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. I don't want to remember it.
Huh.
Oh. Now I'm
well, I'm sorry I brought it up. I was just trying to.
Oh no, it's okay. I don't want to remember like the plot. It was just dark. It was so dark.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to see it. But I mean, you get back to the point. Like, I don't think it's working the way it does now. It's still, but the problem is, it still gets us fighting with each other. And right, I think we're more polarized. People, I think, are using their brains and their own means and methods to find news, disseminate like what's true and what's not true. It's becoming more and more difficult with the advent of AI. And I think that's the key. I think with the advent of AI, I think this kind of tactic that they've been messing with for a long time now is going to blur the lines between reality and fiction so much so we won't know what we're looking at, what we're listening to, what we're reading, and what's real, what's not real, what was done by a human, what wasn't done by a human, and who are the people that are controlling the AI. It's the rich, it's the elites, it's these people that give monies to political PACs and conventions, and they have lobbyists that go out and it's like, hey, you want to build some data centers in Ohio or wherever the case may be. Like, oh yeah, let's build them. Okay, we'll give you $1 million or whatever to your campaign if you vote to or coerce the people to fund these data centers. The internet didn't work for them. I think AI is next. Like, AI is the next step of the control apparatus that they're going to try to inflict upon us.
It kind of feels to me, is it like, what was it, the burning of the library, and was it like Alexandria or something? Like, it's like they're just trying to rewrite the whole history of what happened. And so like AI was like the real stuff. You don't even have to go look for it yourself. Like, we are not that dumb. I mean, I guess a lot of people are that dumb, but it's like
AI lies
all the time.
AI lies all the time. All the time. Like, it happened.
So
it happened.
They pay all these bots on Twitter to like say untruthful things about other countries that are supposedly our allies. That's what it's going to take as truth. It's going to spew something to you that is not true. I think that was their plan with Wikipedia, and it backfired on them.
Oh yeah, and it happened to be live on air. So I wanted to know what the second pick in the NFL draft made. And so I just typed that into an AI. I think it was Copilot. Yeah, it was Copilot. And I put it into Copilot, and I asked it, who, and it said, well, the number 2 pick in the 2026 NFL draft, Tyler Shuck. And I was like, wait a second, he wasn't the number 2 pick. It's like he didn't get picked until the second round.
The Detroit Lions, man.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not, people take it as like, oh, I saw AI's telling me what to do here. And this is right, because AI's, it has all the information. It's artificial. It's intelligence. It's intelligent. And it lies all the time. And it's not the end all be all. All right. So let me wrap up the story with part 3. So you're probably asking like, okay, where do they come up with this crazy idea for mind control on the population of the citizens of the United States of America? Well, Justin, if you will play, let me look at the text I sent you here, buddy. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Go to the last one I sent you. 4 post World War II Nazi experiments at a CIA black site in Germany. Go ahead and play that. So okay, go ahead.
Kurt Blome, who was the chief of biological weapons development for the Nazi government, came to work for the CIA. So did Walter Schreiber, who was the Surgeon General of the Nazi Army. I can just tell a brief story. When I was researching my book, I found what I think might be the first secret CIA prison or black site. It's a nice chalet in Germany. And the guy who now owns it took me into the basement, He said these were the cells where the MK Ultra officers, working side by side with Nazis, carried out those gruesome experiments, which were actually just continuations of the experiments that those Nazis had been conducting just a few years earlier right down the road.
Just for timeline and clarification, these experiments were happening after the Nuremberg trials, correct? So the CIA would have known that these were crimes against humanity.
Many people were experimented to death in that safe house in Germany that I visited, and people in the neighborhood told me they knew what was going on in that house, and that people who were experimented to death are now buried in what used to be forest plots that are now covered over with
Do you think the German
apartments.
government knew what the U.S. government was doing? Do you think there was a partnership there or knowledge?
Yes. There is a memo that was written by the German Secret Service to Konrad Adenauer, the Chancellor of Germany, telling him Americans are here capturing citizens, capturing people and conducting extreme experiments which are in violation of German law.
Okay. So MK Ultra started with the Nazis, and I didn't know the number of Nazi scientists and doctors that we brought over in Operation Paperclip after World War II. They brought over 1,600 of them.
All of NASA. And
so we learned from the enemy that we as Americans defeated and lost. But lost, the lives of so many soldiers that fought overseas to fight the Nazi terrorism that was going on at the time. And we turn around and not only do we invite their doctors and scientists to do some very nefarious things, we recruit them to show us how they tortured people to do mind control.
Like, who was in charge of Project Paperclip? Who got everybody over? Like, who can we pin that back to somebody who was maybe funded by somewhere? Like, how did that come to be?
Well,
just fought that
Harry Truman was the president at the time, and that wasn't going to be okayed unless the president okays it.
Really?
And you
even
had
now it's they work behind the president's back. Like, even with JFK, it's was it?
Well.
I
would say that when
to make it happen,
when I don't know whose idea it was. I'm sure it was the idea of they weren't called the CIA yet during World War II. There was, I think it was the OSS, Operation of Secret Services, I believe is what it was called. But it was probably them. And again, these behind the scenes agency actors that control really are the ones in control. I mean, it's not our elected officials. It's these people. These are the people that are in control.
The lizard people.
Very tyrannical because I mean, what do they think to themselves when they think of presidents? And I've heard this many times said by people, but it's you're only going to be here 4 years or 8 years at max, buddy. I'm here for as long as I want to be here. So I don't care what you think.
And so they like to put their little pansies in office.
And they have so much dirt on everybody. It's go ahead and fire me, or go ahead and go against what I'm doing. Go ahead. And I've got it on you too. I mean, you didn't get to be president of the United States or whatever the case may be by being a really good, person and, doing it the right way. All these people are taking deals. All these, when you get to that high of a level in the American government or any government on planet Earth, you get that high up, you've done some stuff. You've got some dirt on you.
Anything in the world, people are you don't just get famous by accident. In any industry, in anything. I mean, unless maybe athletics, you're a very good athlete, but anything else that's not just raw ability, even TV, from working in TV, I'm
oh yeah, you're chosen.
Don't just famous because you're just a great person and just fell into your lap. You have to make decisions to get that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not something you understand unless you've really been around it and you see it. And I'm not saying everybody who's famous is a bad person, but it's you can't be pure and great all the time. I'm not saying they're doing horrible things, but it's you have motives that doesn't happen by accident.
Sure.
Tarullo, without going too far with this question, has anybody when you were doing TV and stuff like that, were you ever asked to do something that you felt was that you were like, I refuse to do this to get a better opportunity. Did that happen during like?
I talk about this a lot. It's so funny because like I was just raised in a way that I was totally naive and oblivious to a lot of stuff. Like when my first big like foray into mainstream TV was I was interning at Fox in New York at the network level. And, I'm just so innocent. I get there and I'm like, I don't know. I think about like my bosses and my superiors as like my dad or something. I'm like, oh, that's somebody's dad. And I'm just like, I don't know. I was never like raised to like lead with your sexuality first or anything. I'm just like, I'm just here to work. I'm here to learn TV and to do a good job. The amount of executives and like anchors who would sleep with and then leave their wives for their like 24-year-old assistants, it like darkened me for a while. I was like, what do you mean? So I think a lot of like it's also it's never like that up front because they're not stupid, right? Like I would have anchors like when I worked in DC, especially, it was bad. I would have anchors come behind my desk at work. I'd be at my computer and they would be like saying shit. And I was like, I mean, like they're being annoying, whatever. And then I would have older ladies who worked in production be like, watch out. Watch what that guy is saying to you. Watch what he's doing to you. And I was just like so oblivious to it that I never, but it's like you have to be on the same level to accept it, to even know they're offering that, if that makes sense. It's like, I don't know, but it'll kind of break your heart at first. You'll become totally disillusioned with the whole thing because you're like, wow, these were my heroes and they did really shitty stuff. So like, it was, I mean, I still don't understand how it all the way works, but I think if you're on that level and kind of like have that mindset, you pick up on the subtle clues because they're not dumb. They'd get fired if they were just there, just being blatant. But and that's
And can I ask you? Can I follow up?
Yeah.
So you've told me this off air before, and if you want to share it with everybody, you can. But if not, it's okay. Who is the one like main celebrity at Fox News that you actually didn't get any creeper vibes off of as actually like a genuinely good dude? Like
Tucker Carlson.
This is probably shocked everybody.
Tucker Carlson. When I
is it really?
this, yes. Okay. So one of my first internships, it was working at Fox and Friends, and one of our main jobs every day, and it was low key the most stressful part of the day was to go get about like 12 to 18 coffees. You by yourself, an intern, would walk like 3 blocks in New York City to the Starbucks, and you would go take everybody's coffee order, and they would switch off on who would give you the credit card. And so like Tucker would like give you his credit card one day, and you would go get it. That man drank decaf coffee, and when you would come back in the room with the coffee, he would be the most happy guy. So just a family man. That man would walk into the room, and it was like sunshine, just pure vibes, good vibes, always happy, always in a good mood. And so then when like public perception of him really turned, I would say like, 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, do I just suck at reading people? Because he was genuinely, and you don't have to agree with everything he says, but like you can read his energy and it felt very genuine. And here's the thing. So that was when I lived in New York. Then when I lived in DC and also worked for Fox, I didn't see him too much there, but like I would be walking around Georgetown and I would see him with his kids. I mean, just the best, most genuine family guy. I respect the hell out of him for it. And it feels validating to me that I'm like, I don't suck at reading people and he's a good dude. He was like my favorite. He like inspired me with like his disposition. Just a good guy, never creepy for 1 second. And there are a handful of them there, but it's just work. And those are just like the ones that I knew about that were so public with they were sleeping with a damn intern. Think about the ones that we don't know about, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary.
The thing that bothers me about like Fox News, if you ever turn on midday, they all look not real. Like CNN,
mannequin.
CNN. Yeah. The Fox News, it's like they put a sheer coat on all of them. Like it's
Brett Baer. Brett Baer looks like.
I work for him.
I remember. Yeah. He looks like wax now. I don't know if he looked like that back in the day, but he looks like he's a wax figure now.
But no, that's
even worse. Yeah.
That's different.
You ever see the movie? You ever see the movie Mannequin? She was like Kim Cattrall in Mannequin. There you go.
Yes.
That's an old man.
That is.
That's an old man reference. It's an old, like 1988 reference. Sorry about that.
But I will say, Brett. I was gonna say this earlier too. Brett also never any creepy vibes from him.
Oh,
very
good.
Dedicated and loyal to his wife. Very, 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 and his kids. Yeah.
I have heard that a lot about Tucker Carlson. I've heard a lot of people that vehemently disagree with him on a lot of topics, and like almost feel like giving the persona that he had, especially in the early mid 2000s, like they hate him. But then they met him like on a personal level, and he took. I can't remember who it was I was talking to, but he took him fishing, and they went fishing together, and he was just a chill dude, and just kind of like.
He is like all I would want to be to people. He is all I would want to be when I walk into a room. It's like you feel before he speaks, and I'm not just saying before he speaks, like you would feel him walk in a room, even if my back was turned. You're like the mood elevates. Like he's like sunshine walks into the damn room because he's just himself, And
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, and I'm glad to see him be less. Well, I guess some people vilify him more, but a lot of people are coming around to, I guess, his true intentions and that he's just honest with his beliefs and can admit when he's wrong, but he's genuine with his, good intent for people, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was interesting because he is a very polarizing figure, and people are like, he's the literal devil, and whatever. And it's like, well, I talked to somebody that kind of worked with them and said that he was the exact opposite. Like he wasn't a devil. But Justin, anything on the Manson family stuff or anything else you wanna wrap up with before we have some closing thoughts with Anna too?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Every time we do this kind of stuff, like I sink into the past, but then I kind of just move. I always just move into the future. I'm just thinking about how this stuff affects us today.
Well, because you are a person that looks, you work in politics, not at this degree, obviously,
right?
And then you're also, someone that has, kids, and you're like, okay, what kind of world are my kids going to live in when
now
they're
I have a daughter,
our age?
and that changed everything. When it was the boys, I was like, okay, you just got to be tough and whatever. But now that I've got a daughter, she melts me.
She softened you, Soforo.
Oh,
she
yeah.
changed your life.
Well, she did. She did, yeah.
Daughters will do that to you, man. I'm the exact same way. I can't. Well, there's like poor White and Kellen. Like they're like, you two stop it. And then with Ellie, it's like, hey, honey, settle down. And then with the little Reed, I can't look at him like with a bad look on my face, and I can't stand to see him cry or upset. Like it breaks my heart. I'm such a softie when it comes to him. My wife has to. She's the one that has to discipline. Which disciplines like sit in your timeout chair. Like it's nothing crazy. But he'll get his timeout chair. And I'll be like, well, Lisa, I didn't do that.
I'm so mean to my oldest. I feel bad. I'm so mean to him.
I know.
And then my middle child, not as much. But when it comes to my daughter, she gonna get everything. There's nothing. I'm never going to be able to. Yeah.
Princess is going to take you for a ride, buddy.
Yep.
Just get ready.
Right.
But yeah, worrying about like the immediate future, the present, and then how it affects future generations is completely valid. Like what are we going to? Where are we going to be 10 years from now? We live now. It seemed like things kind of slowed down there for a little bit, where it was kind of like chill from like 1996 till about 2001, and then 9/11 happens. No, I'm serious.
The
90s were chill, but I was also a child, so I don't.
Yeah, I lived in the 90s. That's when my middle school and high school years were all in the 90s, and it was like everything's like kind of chill, and everyone's just kind of doing their own thing, and Bill Clinton's doing whatever in the Oval Office, but who
but
cares?
It's Bill, and he's just being Bill.
It's Bill.
Nobody died when Clinton lied. That's the most.
Yeah. and we had a great economy, and the music was really cool, and TV's cool. You had Friends and Seinfeld, and like things were just kind of chill and cool. And then 2001 happened, and you just see the dominoes. No, we're not chill and cool anymore. We're not a chill and cool people anymore. It's just everything is just and if you don't agree with me, you're the worst person ever. And I'm like, man, I want to like everybody. Like I don't care if you're left or right or whatever the case may be. Are you a good person? Are you good? Are you good to the people that are your friends and your family? Then that's really all I care about. And if you don't agree with me, there should be no politics in this country that people are just so vehemently opposed to. They freeze people that care about them out of their lives. And this is where we are now as a society, where it's like you have to be on this side or this side, and you better pick a side, because if that other side wins, oh my gosh, this country's going to hell, and it's going to be awful. And it's like, bro, we've given both sides so many chances to come in and fix it and make it better
for the same result.
And make Exactly. For the people in the middle Americans and the poverty-stricken people that need it the most, like you're supposed to help us, and you never do. None of you ever do. Like, quit falling for it. This is all. This all goes back to MK Ultra. They all are brainwashing us into believing this stuff, that they're going to help us and they're going to change things, and they're not. They are not. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. No. They care about the end. In the ends that justify the means is money and power, and that's all they care about. And they have to do some dirty, awful, disgusting, sometimes satanic things to get in that position. So why should we idolize these people? We should not idolize them. They work for us. They work for us.
There's been people in office that like have done more to separate people and foster this like discontent with opposing sides worse than anybody who like claimed to be a unifying president or force, who made it worse than anything. And it's gotten so bad, it's not even like, oh, these people won't like me or they'll disagree with me and they're wrong. It's like, no, like people at the top have instilled so much fear that people think that no matter, like if whoever gets in office, that they're going to get killed, that they're going to die because of it. It's like, you are in the United States of America. Has that ever, has that happened? Like, history is just thrown out the window. They think we are living, that their lives are worse than communist Russia. And it's like, you have lost all perspective on everything, and it's pathetic. It just, to me, it's just pathetic because I
all by
like,
design.
Yes, and education is shit now, so people can't compare to these things and think that they are just so oppressed in a way that's, I'm not saying oppression doesn't happen, it does, but, and that you're blinded to the opportunities that you do have and the peace that is there between cultures and the diversity that is there and is good. You know what I mean?
The ghost with the most is, sorry, just real quick. I know someone who worked on air at Spectrum, and they had stories they were told to bury, period, like real local government corruption. Lachlan McLean, he was the guy, Locke was the guy who said, what if the spectral figure of Lachlan McLean was the one that showed up to your desk to shut down any of these big time stories going out?
Now,
that'd be great. Don't run that one. Don't run that one.
That's why I vomit. That's why I vomit.
Like that's what you hear.
The legend himself. The legend himself.
But okay, so real quick, and I know we've reached the top of the hour. Can I touch on a couple things real quick? I don't know how much time you got, or people. So it's every night with Streble and me. Can I touch on it for a little bit? Yeah, go ahead. Go. Help yourself. Anyway, what are the questions?
Not together.
So it sounded like that was together.
It might be one day. If I play my cards right, we'll see. So
Charlotte told me.
Tarullo touched a little bit on the idea of the Library of Alexandria and how things are what people want you to believe they are for the most part. And there's so many different, like I said, every little thing that we do, every conspiracy theory we talk about can kind of be interwoven into each other. The idea of, about history may not be what we think it is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Streble, do you have any intention? I know you've brought it up a couple times, and like the whole idea as a whole, I don't know if I believe or agree with it or think of it. Did you ever have any intention of the topic of Tartaria, that kind of thing?
Really?
Did you ever have the intention of bringing that up ever? I don't know. I was asking you that.
No, I had not, but I'm very familiar with it, and that's a weird Wednesday we can do in the future if you're interested in that. But yeah, hidden like the World's Fair. Like people are like, they said, we built. Yeah, we built.
They're thrown up real quick, torn down. Yeah.
And they look majestic, but they were easy to tear down, easy to put up. Like Chicago, there's a great book called "Devil in the White City" about how the Chicago World Fair also coincided with a serial killer. I think it was J.B. Holmes, I believe, or his last name was Holmes. And so he was, while the World Fair is going on, he was pretending to be a doctor and murdering people. And it talks about like the World Fair and everything. And it's a very interesting book. But anyway, beside the point. And it's not like fiction. It's like a historical telling of what happened. But anyway. But yeah, I've heard about that, how the World's Fairs are actually just evidence of ancient societies that were in America, and they tore them down to kind of, change the perspective of our history and who we are as a people. Yes.
My hottest take, or my hottest belief or conspiracy thing is that I slightly believe in some of it. And like the reason I say it is, I mean, I work in City Hall. Like I work in that building every day. And there's hidden passageways underneath it that go from there to the Metro Hall and other places and in between and stuff like that. And I've been up, there's all these buildings up at the top and like these old rooms that you have to go through. And they were like, oh, this is a whole nother floor that's empty with, stuff that's still kind of frozen in time from the 70s or whatever and things like that. And there's parts of me that I'm like, well, come on by. It's fine. We can go in anytime. Yeah. But it's one of those things where I look around at it and like I pull up old pictures from like late 1800s and they're like, this was built in 1870, whatever. And I'm like, I don't know the fuck I believe it was. Cause like I'm looking around and I'm like, every picture I see is horse and fucking buggies. And I'm like, you're telling me this massive building with, the structure and everything. I want to know fully how it was done. Just like I'm not so sure about the pyramids being built by slaves carrying it on their back. There's all these theories about basically, all the fires that took place in the same time. Every major city in basically in America has had a major fire at some point. And that has destroyed major
look
buildings.
What's happening in the Middle East. All like the Christian cities are being bombed. All the Christian heritage sites
in Lebanon,
Christian cities in Lebanon and Palestine. I think it's similar. Dang, it's a great point about the fires in the big cities. I never thought about that.
So like Louisville, and I looked up Louisville's fire history and all that. And there's just certain stuff in me that because I walk into a building and I like to take in and you can feel history sometimes. Like I feel like I have a pretty good perception of that. And it's one of those things
that too.
Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. It's also why I never want to live in a historic building. Like my wife and I don't understand. Because I can feel history when I go in places. I don't want to feel like my place could be haunted. Like I want a brand new home. I want even the crappy whatever bullshit build that they're going to throw up around me. That's fine. I know it's not as good as built in 1910, but 1910's got too much history in that building.
Got too many ghosts.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard? So back thousands and thousands of years ago, we were actually told about this by the Greek philosopher Plato. Have you ever heard of Plato's allegory of the cave?
Refresh
Tell
me.
me more.
Yeah.
Okay. So the idea is that there was this civilization that lived in a cave, and the only thing they knew were the shadows on the wall, and the shadows on the wall was their reality. And those shadows, of course, we all know shadows have to be, created by something or someone else and manipulated. Eventually, one of the people in the cave, they leave the cave, they see this other world, kind of like what you're talking about, Justin, like looking around like, hey, wait a minute. Like this, there's more to this than what we're being shown. And they run back into the cave and they tell everybody like, hey, if you leave the cave, there's a whole new world out here, and this is the real world and the true world, and this is actually what we're meant to see. But the people in the cave are already so comfortable with what they're being shown that they're like, no, we're going to stay in the cave. We're not going to leave the cave. So that's kind of like what Justin's describing here. And again, if you read Plato goes, I mean, he goes deep, man. Like he's not, he's not, I'm not into Neoplatonism, but like old school Plato, the Republic, and like he dropped some truth bombs for sure. I mean, you go back to, I mean, that whole Greek culture was phenomenal. Actually, like Pythagoras had like the first cult was like the cult of Pythagoras to learn like ancient geometry.
They still got us studying that damn theorem, honey.
Well, have you ever seen? Yeah, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Very good. You find the hypotenuse, or you can find the legs of the triangle of a right triangle. So there was a cartoon made by Disney, and it is like Donald Duck goes through history, and he goes and visits the Pythagoreans in ancient Greece, and he shows like on his hand. Oh yeah, you can look this cartoon up. It exists. I've watched it as a kid. Yes,
You make Reed watch it?
and Donald.
You make Reed watch it?
Yes,
I know it.
No, he's not watching this. He holds his hand up, and there's a pentagram on his hand, on Donald Duck's hand. And and they're like, well, this is how the pentagram, this is why it's sacred geometry and da-da-da-da-da. Like, ancient Greece is wild. It's wild. We get into the Eleusinian. Well, I'm not doing it tonight because we can go deep into stuff. It was wild. But yeah, look up Donald Duck Pythagoras and on YouTube. Yeah.
Well, and so much of that too. Like, I look around and I don't know. Like, I it's just like, is it what is not clicking for me? That and so much of too. I mean, at the same time, people talk about, you know, the many of these buildings that are built like City Hall or whatever, part of them are like underground kind of thing. Like, and I look at it, the ground floor, what we call ground floor, it's like half of the thing is underground. The street, you know, is basically gone to the second floor, which is now the first floor, kind of stuff. So there's just certain things like that do make me wonder. I'm not saying I 100% believe it, but there's a lot where I'm like, how were we able to build these magnificent, beautiful Italianic structures, you know, in late 1800s when we couldn't, you know, we could barely put anything fucking together. Yet now we have all these tools and equipment to quickly put together homes, and they all look like shit.
Yeah.
And they all look like cardboard boxes.
That's the same thing in every art. That's the same thing with music. That's the same thing with everything. We can quickly do it now, so you don't have to be well trained. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be like a translator of the soul to do it. Like, I read this great Quincy Jones article, and I think it was like GQ or something a few years ago, and I quote it all the time because it just stuck with me. It's like, music sucks now because we don't have any good musicians, because they're all sampling stuff from the 90s that was sampling stuff from the 70s that was sampling stuff from like way before that. And it was like, you used to have to learn, and I think I've talked about this on air with you, Streble. It's like, you used to have to learn, you know, like the notes on the scale, and you used to nobody learns anymore. It's all digital. You learn, it's throwaway. You learn on a damn computer. It's even worse with AI. But if you look into, there's a type of architecture called Bauhaus, and it's from kind of like the Soviet bloc, and it's super depressing because they wanted to make us feel like workers. Like, there was nothing in life.
Yeah.
That's why cathedrals and all these beautiful buildings, it makes you like aspire to God because of like the beauty in it. It touches you and makes you feel things. And so they wanted to take that all the way to make you just feel like you're just like a little ant. You're just a little worker. And like in the 70s, it's like, did we really win the Cold War or did we lose the Cold War? But look at our shit now. Look at all of our culture now.
Did we win?
It's all that shit.
Did we win World War II or did we lose World War II? Because the Nazis infiltrated our
people we were fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a great point. Like, you know, did we win or lose the Cold War? And you're exactly right. Our architecture sucks now. Like, what's considered as art, like, sucks now. And it's not even. Here's the thing: it's not even old. Like, it's not even like the quote the olds that are saying this. Even young people aren't connecting to it. I mean, you should. Yes, they want to go see like the old bands. Like,
yes. That's why they're becoming more traditional, because they're like, nothing. There is no. That's the thing with beauty and with people who made these like huge structures and these huge cathedrals. There was a truth that they were conveying in their work.
Yeah.
And I think now that everything is so temporary, from fashion, everything is throwaway. It's temporary. Nothing substantial, nothing beautiful, nothing that you keep because it spoke to you. It's all just like whatever. It means nothing. I think that affects your soul. I really do think that
it does.
It's like,
well, it only affects your. And it demoralizes you. I mean, like, if this is throwaway, is my life throwaway? Yeah, like what else is throwaway? Like, is everything throwaway?
So I could cheapen me. I can change my face. I can change my whatever. I'm not, you know, like I'm a commodity like that. I'm not unique of the beauty of God or whatever it is, you know?
Right. No. I think those are all great points.
Sorry, last show extending question. What?
Okay.
Maybe I haven't dug deep enough into what the Nazis were. But what I mean by that.
Oh, sorry, that's hilarious.
What I mean by that is like, what created Nazism in Germany? Is there an ongoing group of people or individuals that just move from culture to culture, like calling it something different? But controlling and doing what they do, like you said, they ended up coming to America, and you know, these Nazi scientists, whatever. Yeah, no, like, is this a?
But that was different. It's kind of the opposite. In the
God, that opens such.
And Hollywood was created by the Bolsheviks too, by the way.
Like, is there a history before Nazi Germany that they were infesting another culture?
I might have to text you.
I don't.
Off air.
Or is it? Sorry.
Well, okay. So this is from my perspective, and I mean this could be 2 hours, but I'll be as succinct as possible. So the entire Nazi Party was created in response to losing World War I, being embarrassed at the Treaty of Versailles, where Germany had to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in reparations, and their economy was crushed, their government was crushed, their military was crushed, like everything. And a guy like Adolf Hitler, who served in World War I in the German army, was very offended by it. And his entire story is weird, and there are missing pieces. But somehow, some way, he got involved with this political party that he found in Germany that was, completely, pro-German, and returning things back to Germany and getting Germany back onto the world stage as a major power. And it was immediately recognized that this young Austrian, who wasn't really German, he was Austrian, had a certain charisma about him that could be manipulated. And in his journey, Adolf Hitler was advised by an occult advisor by the name of Erich Jan this German, Hanusan. And so who he was a clairvoyant. He was a hypnotist, a mentalist, astrologer. He was kind of like a celebrity. Well, he was the one that coached Hitler on things like theosophy. So these ideas from Helena Blavatsky and some of the spiritualist movement in the late 1800s into the early 1900s. And he taught him techniques how to mesmerize a crowd, right? Like with his hand motions, the inflections of his voice. I mean, this is kind of like an MK Ultra thing happening with the creation of the cult of personality that was 100% that was Adolf Hitler. And the Germans became ultra nationalistic. There may have been some other entities that promoted it that you wouldn't think might promote it, and it was very popular. I mean, Hitler was Times Man of the Year in the United States of America. There were many people that admired what he was doing and all these other things. You
said you have that copy still, right, in your house?
I do not. No,
you got it framed in your office.
No, absolutely not.
You keep it behind your desk when you teach.
No, I do no. Definitely not.
You put on a little fake mustache.
No, I don't. None of this happens. Again, he's trying to MK Ultra all of you. No, so it was a roots movement that I think was influenced by outside parties. I'll just leave it at that for now, because it could be a whole nother.
Think about the media, though. Of course, let's take a very deep look into every Time Person of the Year, because what the hell? What the hell is that? Yeah. And then earlier when you were talking about the author of Chaos or whatever it was
Tom O'Neill
by Variety or Rolling Stone. I'm like, of fucking course he was. And then when they probably hated it when he started to uncover the real story of what happened.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they absolutely he caught a lot of flack for that. Absolutely.
Guys, fucking Steven Glansberg has a comment for us. He says Olivia Dean is one of few good artists at the moment. Eisenhower took the deal with the interdimensional beings who are already in contact with Nazi brass. Anna, he loves you. Just some thoughts. Thank
you. I appreciate that, Steven.
Also, the ghost with the most is trying to steal Streble, so he's telling you to start your own YouTube channel, Streble. So there you go. Don't steal my content. Don't steal my talent. That's what I meant. There you go.
No, I'm not going anywhere. I wish I had time to do more of a YouTube channel and do these crazy videos. Hi, honey, but I can't. But if you got. Honey is telling us it's time to wrap up. She's saying it's time to go night.
And any final comments? I'll mute you otherwise, just for Honey's sake.
I'm getting her trained very soon.
There you go. All right. Streble, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I know we went over, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Guys, real quick, just do want to shout out a couple of our sponsors at the station. First off, Boomba's Pizza, the very best crafted for you pizza, beer, and shareables in the Highlands, Westport Village, J-Town, Jeffersonville, and E-Town. Also, Juice Fuel. With Juice Fuel, they bring the gas straight to your car, at home, at work, wherever you go. Skip the gas station for good. I don't know if this code still works, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. Use code ESPN and get your first month of VIP membership free. Download the app today. Streble, Anna, Honey, who's angry right now. Thanks you guys for joining us. If you haven't already, do me a solid favor. Smash the freaking like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. And unless you guys got anything else to say, we'll see you all next time.